Hi friends, it's June 22nd in Tokyo, the evening, and well, here we are. We knew. No one knows what I'm gonna do or not going to do. I give them 2 weeks. Maybe I'll go play golf and then give the order to drop some bombs on Iran illegally without anyone else's approval, because I'm the king. I'm the supreme leader of the world. So we knew it was coming, right? And now it's come. And I'm reminded of the title of my own work from 2022. The world was not the same. And there was 90 seconds. No, there was 100 seconds revised to 90 seconds. 2022, then 2023. I revised it because the doom clock was pushed forward another 10 seconds. We're probably at like 30 seconds now or something. I think David Bowie's 5 years, that's giving us too much time. I don't think we even have 5 years anymore. We'll wish we had 5 years by the end of this year, if we even make it that far. And I'm going to keep going back to this prediction for the earthquake and tsunami in Japan, because it's not just a prediction, but there are all these little earthquakes, and some of them aren't so little actually, happening everywhere. I mentioned Indonesia and the volcano exploding last week. And there was off the coast of Hokkaido, there was a big, I think it was fairly large. And I've been looking at this. It's like before the really big one comes, there are like these smaller ones that erupt, and then the big one bursts usually. And so we had the small ones. So if Tatsuki, Ryo Tatsuki in English, Miss Tatsuki, has some precognitive abilities, which she seems to have, it could very well be that July 5th is the day. Or it's like 5 a.m. or something she predicted, actually, like very, very specific details, the date and the time. So then the question, it's like, well, why don't you get out? If you knew 100% something was going to happen, a disaster was going to happen beforehand, what would you do? You've been warned. So I've been thinking about this, and I don't have a lot of time to think about it anymore. But, I mean, you can prepare to, endure the thing here, right? Okay, I'll get under the desk, or I've got my emergency kit. People are panic buying emergency kits and all that because of this. I don't want to do that. Panic buy. I can get an emergency kit, but I don't want to panic buy for this shit, like COVID, right? Like people buying toilet paper or whatever. I just don't like those things. But let's say, okay, so that's one scenario that, but knowing that it's coming and staying, and if it does actually happen, there's a fairly good likelihood that I would either die or be, crippled or hurt badly, or that just lose everything, of course, as well. But not even talking about material things, like the things in this room, like my guitar or something, right? My computer or something, but I mean my body, right? So, but let's say I were to say, okay, so then I should leave. So let's say I drop everything and I leave. Where am I going to go? I mean, I thought about this. Should I fly to Iceland or something? It's like several thousand US dollars. But even putting money and time and everything aside, and I'm supposed to be working. It's not like I'm on vacation now. I'm in the middle of a semester that doesn't end until August. So July 5th is Saturday, but it's still in the middle of, my working days. although I don't have to work on Saturday. But, and if it's 5 a.m. anyway, right? But, where the hell am I going to go? And let's say I decided to fly to X, Y, or Z. And let's say the earthquake happened, and let's say I missed it, I'm safe. Oh, I did it. And thank God I left. Of course, all my shit is gone in Japan, right? It's been flattened to the ground kind of thing. So, right, give up the earthly possessions. I can take my computer with me, right? Or maybe my flutes or something. Okay. So, but let's say I left, I lost everything else, right? My possessions. And then we're in World War III, you know, and the next week the nuclear bombs start going off. What did it matter? You know, maybe they should just drop everything and just like travel around and try to enjoy the last days a little more than fucking being here in Tokyo with no friends and no people to, you know, share it with. Not that I have to share it even. I mean, even just solo, right? I mean, just like solo is cool. It's fine. I actually don't need people around, and better without usually. But you know, but I mean, you know, I don't know. So happy summer solstice, and it's freaking hot in Japan. It's suddenly, because it was like we had a lot of like colder, windy days, rainy days. The rainy season came early, and now it's supposed to be rainy season. It's like hot and sunny. When it was supposed to be hot and sunny, it was raining and cold. So of course the weather is schizoid, and the earthquake predictions, and there have been some, and also I don't know. I mean, all this prophecy stuff, huh? You know, I mean, right? Iran and Israel and the whole thing, and Baba Vanga and the fire in the sky. I don't remember if that was Baba Vanga or if that was Nostradamus. All these people, you know, coming with these end days predictions. That's been real popular on YouTube lately, at least on my feed. Maybe because I look at those things. But so today I listened to John Lennon's song God, which was like after he left the Beatles. He was doing solo career, and he was very disillusioned with all this stuff like in the Beatles, right? I mean, it was like hippie times, drugs and psychedelic drugs and yoga. And right, he says, I don't believe in, and he gives a list. So yoga or Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, Buddha, I don't believe in Kennedy, I don't believe in Hitler, all the figures, important figures of his day. And I was thinking of doing a cover version and just changing the names, you know, which I may still do at some point. My version of God. And in the end, he says, all I believe in is me and Yoko and me, right? And this version of the video I saw someone had edited together starts with the announcement of John Lennon's death in 1980, that he was shot outside of his West Side apartment in New York. And at the end, it ends with a quote from John Lennon himself, and he says, I'm not afraid of death. He says, I'd like to live to a ripe old age with Yoko only, I think he says, like just the two of us. I don't know about how I'm feeling right now exactly, but basically he says, I don't need to fear death because it's just like getting out of one car and into another. It's ironic because I think he was shot after he'd just gotten out of his car or something, or maybe not. Maybe it was in front of his apartment. And by the way, because I link things to Bowie, David Bowie was next on the list to be the assassin when he was caught. That he was going to go see Bowie's The Elephant Man, which Bowie was doing on Broadway, performing as the Elephant Man, John Merrick, and in 1980. And the one show, I heard Bowie talking about this on an interview from the past, there were 3 empty seats in front of him that night. One was supposed to be for John Lennon, next to him Yoko Ono, and next to Yoko Ono, I'm not sure about the order, but was this Marc, I forget his name. His name was Marc with a K. I'm not remembering it right now, but the murderer. And so John Lennon's God, and of course Nietzsche said that God was dead, and Bowie did the Superman, and Trent Reznor wrote, God is dead and no one cares. If there is a hell, I'll see you there, in 1994. I think we're all kind of, if not in hell, in a sort of purgatory that's moving us much closer to hell. With it, not just war, but AI and all of it. I mean, all of it. Fucking dystopia. I mean, the dystopia and Bowie and dystopia talk with John Major just went up on John's page. Currently has 60 some views. It went up like just less than 48 hours ago. But our interview was in May, and so I don't know. You know, people don't like it when you're a doomsayer, and when you kind of, everyone wants to sort of ignore the reality until it smacks them in the face, which I kind of wish I could be like that, because not that there isn't some residual sort of stress somewhere, but it's like you can drink, party, do something else, and with your friends or your family or whatever it is, and sort of at least push it out a bit and have that experience in the meantime. Whereas for me, I'm always alone anyway, so I tend to focus on those things, and there's no fun times, except that I make music, and that's the greatest thing for me. And I do these talks from time to time, which I do enjoy, even though it's just talking this way. And I get comments sometimes. Thank you very much. I know someone's out there watching, and some specifically that I've gotten, I won't name names, but comments. Thank you. And it's good to know. It's like it's a connection, even though, right? We're all connected. We're all on the same ship. And it seemed to be sinking slowly from COVID days onward, at least. I mean, actually way before that. But, and now it's like that whole thing has been accelerated. Accelerationism, right? That's what Trump's doing, right? It's like, we'll just drop the bombs now. And it's time for peace, he writes. Motherfucker. So... yeah, all the rhetoric. I mean, it's like the Iraq War all over again, right? Weapons of mass destruction, and then his advisors, Trump's advisors, say, "Oh, they don't even have like much developed yet." And he's like, "Well, who said that? Your advisor? Oh, she's wrong. I know better than anybody." And then he goes and plays golf. And this is the world we live in. We're in Kali Yuga. The end of it, apparently. According to the Hindus, ancient Hindus, and of course according to the Bible, it's end days. So whether it's Kali Yuga or end days, there will be a new thing after this. And maybe that in order for that to happen, perhaps we all first have to say goodbye. We're all rock and roll suicides. Without the rock and roll, it ain't rock and roll, it's genocide. As Bowie said in Future Legend, 1974. So it ain't a rock and roll suicide, it's just genocide and what? I don't know, earthquakes and fires and floods, and sounds biblical actually, right? Volcanoes going off, and then maybe the man-made bomb is going to finish it all off, I don't know. Or maybe a meteor is going to hit Earth and that'll finish us off before the US or Russia or China or any of those places blow up the bomb. Japan may go before all that, if this whole thing's true. We may be sunken next month, which is not even a month away. It's like 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks from today, actually. So, 14 days, right? Bowie sings about 5 years. We got 5 years. I'm going to rewrite that to 14 days, but that's 5 years. It's a nice 2-syllable. 5 years, da 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 da. 5 years. I did that. I covered that in 2022. So if I want to change the lyrics, 14 days, right? That wouldn't kind of have the same We've got 14 days stuck on my eyes. 14 days, right? And I'd have to really, it'll sound like a Weird Al song. If anyone knows who he is, then we're the same generation. Weird Al Yankovic. It wouldn't be very, it'd be kind of a joke, huh? But it's not funny. Never was, and now it's really not funny. But life can be taken lightly and as a kind of joke. If one wishes, and that might be the best way to go about it, actually. So, I mean, I do sometimes just like start laughing hysterically, and it's like, I guess I'm crazy. But who the fuck isn't now? You know? And what kind of crazy? I'm not dropping bombs on people crazy. You know? I just want peace for everyone. I don't want this fucking bullshit war. Nobody does. I mean, unless you're part of the military industrial complex, or, you know, making AI to make profit from it, then you don't want war. Certainly not in your town, but you don't, basically. Why would you want war? You know, unless you're just so miserable that you like enjoy seeing people suffering, innocent people, and, you know, if you're sadistic, I suppose. But I mean, most people, I think, don't want war. They also don't want, you know, to be taken advantage of the way that we've been socially, and I mean, in so many ways, in this system that we're seem to be stuck in AI. Don't get me started. This whole thing, right? They've just done scans of people's brains on GPT. I can't even say it. GPT. You know, it's like the brains are rotten. Well, big fucking surprise. Like, you know, I've been saying this since like the day it came out. It's gonna erode critical thinking, and it has. And, you know, I keep saying again and again, my students can't read literature anymore. It's like the literature students can't read literature because they just check on ChatGPT, and then have ChatGPT write the paper too while you're at it. And then why do I need to bother reading a paper generated by a computer program, basically a machine? So then I'm not needed either. So then there goes that. So then that's where we're headed, right? And of course, in other industries and businesses, even faster, right? Like the creative sector, like people doing, right, commercials and things like that. It's like the computers can just do it. End days, eh? Enjoy it while it lasts. Try to enjoy oneself, one's life. If you're lucky enough to have loved ones around, you know, don't forget how lucky you are, and let them know through your actions and your words, but especially your actions more than your words. And if you don't, at least be kind to yourself, and at least don't buy into all this, you know, hatred and fear mongering and nationalism and religious righteousness, God's on our side kind of, and all the rhetoric and all this stuff. Just don't fall for it. Die with dignity, at least, you know. If you're going to die, when you're going to die, do it with dignity if you can. And if you can always, because you can hold that part of you in that mental space that can't be touched in the physical world. It's not about how others perceive it. It's about this, right? Because we're more than our bodies, and we're more than what meets the eye. Death is getting out of one car and into another, as Lenin said, right? Maybe. Or it's a transition. don't get pulled into the TVC-15 transmission, the internet transmission, the AI transmission, the disinformation transmission. Don't get pulled into that shit, man. Stay here. This one is the bridge, as the ancient Taoists would say, right? Heaven and earth, and where man is somewhere between the two, and so, or maybe it's heaven and hell. Man is, right, tended to favor the dark side for some reason in this century, and, well, not just this century, but certainly in the 20th, 21st now. We're only 1/4 of the way through. I don't think we're going to make it in the current form that we're seeing now. It's going to break. It's breaking apart as we sit here having this little chat without GPT in it. It may seem artificial because it's on a screen, but it's not. Because there's a human sitting here and there's a human sitting there watching and listening, so it's not artificial. And that's my talk. Thanks.